Tibetan Buddhism is a branch of Vajrayana Buddhism that developed in Tibet in the 7th century. According to historical records, Buddhism was first introduced to Tibet during the reign of King Songtsen Gampo, who invited Buddhist scholars from India and Nepal. However, it was in the 8th century that Tibetan Buddhism truly took root, when the Indian master Padmasambhava, known as Guru Rinpoche, brought Vajrayana teachings to Tibet and helped establish the first monastery at Samye. Tibetan Buddhism integrates Mahayana philosophy with Vajrayana practices, emphasizing tantric rituals, deity visualization, and the use of mantras and mandalas as tools for transformation. Monastic traditions, reincarnated teachers, and profound meditation techniques such as Dzogchen and Mahamudra form the heart of its spiritual path. Today, Tibetan Buddhism continues to flourish, preserving its rich teachings and traditions across the world. I arrived in the town of Maklod Ganj, home to the Dalai Lama and the heart of the Tibetan exile community. After China's invasion of Tibet in 1950, thousands of Tibetans fled their homeland in search of a new home. In 1959, India granted asylum to the Dalai Lama and his followers, allowing them to establish their government in exile and preserve their Buddhist traditions here in Dharamshala. I came in search of Tibetan Buddhist monks and nuns to speak with, hoping to gain insight into their practices and experiences. After walking through the town and asking various monastics, I was eventually connected with Nawang Jigme, a Tibetan man who has been a monk for over 20 years, and Ani Tenzin Dolkar, a Spanish nun who serves as the official Spanish interpreter for His Holiness the Dalai Lama.
All the negative emotions are the cause of suffering. So we have been, we believe that we have been born in this samsara or the cyclic existence because of the suffering or the cause of suffering that we committed again and again. So if you know the cause of suffering, then you have intention to get rid of the suffering, and you want to liberate yourself from the suffering. So Buddha taught the how to say, the cessation or the path to the liberation. So the for the countermeasure, it is emptiness and the selflessness, and then the contentment, love, compassion, altruistic mind, and generosity, and all this comes as a counter attack or counter measure of the defilement or negative emotion or destructive emotion. So when you generate all this emotion like love, compassion, and altruism, and for thinking well-being of others, then you will get rid of all the sufferings, all the negative emotions. Then you will have a less negative emotion. Then you will slowly, gradually find the true liberation or the true cessation. So emptiness means is things are not as you see. Things are not as you perceive yet. So and then so emptiness is about perception and reality. So we get an emotion like attachment, anger, hatred, all because of the illusion, not knowing the reality, and see thing as it appears. So like if we hate something, hate to someone, the scientists say that the 99 or 90% of that hatredness, or the how to say, the 99% is the self projection, mental projection. So that show that while you get angry, your negative emotion make you blind, and then you see that person 100% negative. Then you start to scold him and say bad things. So in actually things are not like that. In actually that person is not 100% negative, not 100% bad person, but your emotion makes it. That's like mental projection. That's like a perception and appearance which is made by you. So in reality, things are different. Things are things, you should know that things are not as it appears. Things are not as it percepts. Perceptive.
It's possible to overcome the suffering, just like this. So there are different explanations about this, but there is one very beautiful one that comes from the third turning of the wheel, which is we all have a Buddha nature. So we can become enlightened, all of us. And this Buddha nature is just like it's like hidden by our afflictive emotions, etc. And another explanation is like from the second turning of the wheel of the Dharma, which is talking about the nature of phenomena, how phenomena exist. That means that because so they will explain you that we have this ignorance about how the world exists, and then this ignorance is the root of all these afflictive emotions, all these negative emotions. So, and these negative emotions are the ones who will act as a propulsor for our actions. So we'll always act because of these emotions. Sometimes they are like hatred, sometimes it's grasping or desire, but we are always moved because of this, because we always want to be happy and avoid suffering. So we see something we want to go this direction. If it's something we fear, it's painful, we want to get rid of this, so then there will be like hatred and the desire. but because we always think that these objects, they exist truly. So everything comes from the ignorance. So then if you eliminate the ignorance, you will not have these origins of suffering anymore. So that's another explanation of how you can achieve the cessation.
You've spoken a few times about this being an illusion, and I want to understand that better, and I want viewers to understand that better. How is this an illusion? How can someone understand that this right here is an illusion? Because I think most people, out of ignorance, I'm assuming, take this to be very real. It may even be defensive if they say, hey, what do you mean this is an illusion?
Well, you have to start one by one with the things. For example, you can start with the hand. That is so one, maybe this one. So you can start with the hand, and then you look, okay, the hand, does the hand exist truly or not? No? And you can analyze your hand. And then what you're seeing is not the hand. You are seeing some skin and some nails. No? You're not seeing the bones or the blood or the some meat that there is there. I don't know, like you don't see the veins. No, you just see. Well, maybe with a little bit of color they give to your skin, no? So, but what is the hand in there? Because the skin is not the hand, no? And the nails are also not the hand. Also, even the blood and these bones, each of the bones, they are not the hand. So, what is the hand? When you say hand, it's because you are looking at something which is not the hand, and then you are designing hand as like a set of things. Then you put them name. Maybe in the school we used to make sets of things, and we have like 5 apples, no? And then you make a round around. So, but these are round. It's not in the apples, not there. So you are doing it. So it happens the same with the hand. You are designating the word hand on something which is not hand. No, because it's all the skin or nails. And then if you look in there, you are never gonna find the hand. If the hand were really existent, truly existent, as much as you analyze, as much clearer it will become. But it happens the opposite. You never find the hand there. And then if you go to atoms or something like this, less and less hand, there is no hand at all. And then they say even the atoms are very far away from each other. So there is no hand. So the hand, it doesn't exist truly. How does the hand exist? Exist as a designation that you make, or as a concept that you do on the basis of something else, which is like skin. But the problem is that it is not only happens to the hand, happens to everything. Whenever you go and analyze, as much as you analyze, as much it will disappear. It's not there. It's just a projection. It's just a designation by your mind. So this world is just a projection. Everything in this world. Are you convinced?
That's fascinating. So, naturally, I know that would extend to the self as well. I would assume that ourselves that we take to be so real, also, the more we analyze, the less we find a substantial self there.
Yeah, and this is you can do the same analysis with yourself, which is easier almost, because it's like. My body is like, where is myself in my ear? No, like in the nose. No. So the body is not the self, obviously, because if you cannot find the self there, and you will say, okay, but the mind. But the mind also, you have like sensorial consciousness, and you have mind consciousness with different kind of thoughts all the time, emotions. So what of all of this is you, and also. It's changing moment by moment, and then will be what kind of eyes is that? No, there's like something that is happening in a moment. In the next moment, it's not happening anymore. So this has already ceased. So then there will happen like your eyes dying all the time, or what kind of eye is there? Also, if you analyze it, you cannot find the eye. And this kind of investigation is very, very useful, because most of this kind of mental suffering comes because of our egocentric mind, egocentric mind. That means that we are like very, 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 very narrow-minded. We just think about ourselves because we have this idea that we exist. When we realize we don't exist, we forget about this kind of egocentric mind, because you cannot focus on what are you, like. Yeah, so that's a very useful kind of analysis.
Bodhisattva approach and bodhicitta is something like you're making your mind broader, and you're making your heart bigger, bigger. Something like if someone scolds me or say harsh word, then I shouldn't react easily or quickly. If you have something like a very big heart, then you should you will resist, right? Resist, or not a resist, but you will have first have a like a calm. You should try to be a calm and not responsive, right? So so in when you make your mind broader and your heart bigger, then when you challenge some difficulties, you don't lose control, or you don't get emotion easily. It's something like cause and effect. If you do a good to others, you will have a good consequences. If you harm to others, and then you will have a bad consequences. That is actually law of causality. So it, whether you like it or not, it will come automatically or naturally or indirectly. So that's actually how it works. But actually the most of people doesn't know the what's the actual way, or what's the real cost of happiness and the real cost of suffering. That's why they tend to have difficulties all the time. Yeah.
But I mean, if you get rid of this kind of ignorance, which is the notion of true existence, then you won't have you don't have to deal with the afflictive emotions anymore, because all of them are rooted in that ignorance. So because you don't believe that something is real, so you don't have this object on the top of which start thinking all this firewood for the emotions.
So because we mistake an object as being real,
yeah,
we put all of these emotions and projections onto it. But when we understand the lack of reality to it, then we no longer put on those emotions.
Especially of the eye. Because everything is related. We are totally egocentric. Everything is related to eye. Everything. So when the eye is not there anymore, yeah. So all these judgments, they disappear.
After Dharamshala, I traveled to Sarnath, outside the city of Varanasi, where the Buddha gave his first teaching. Here, I visited the Sarnath International Nyingma Institute, where I met with Khenpo Kunga. He gave me a tour of the institute, invited me to share a meal, and afterwards, sat down with me to discuss the teachings of the Buddha.
All these different, difficult, and problem or suffering comes from the ignorance. We call it ignorance. The ignorance means we don't know what is it, what is there, what is we have the capability. So through his understanding, and he said, everything comes from causes and condition. If you more pay attention causes condition, you will result whatever you want to result. This more pay attention cause and condition. If you want a good result, you more pay attention to good cause and condition. So therefore, the ignorance is the biggest obstacle in samsara. We call it samsara, okay? And the man make trouble us. So finally he realized, so ignorance is here, but this antidote is wisdom. What is means the wisdom? We call in Tibetan word shrap. Shi means we have consciousness. Ra means they are supreme or supreme consciousness, supreme understand. So supreme understand the way to see the truth, and everything see the truth, and the problem will solve. So therefore, the Buddha giving us the very beginning of the Four Noble Truth. The truth of suffering, the truth of cause of suffering, the truth of path, and the truth of cessation. So this is a man teaching, because he said, so there is the suffering. And then suffering is there, where is it come from? And then he said the cause, condition. So now we realize suffering is there, cause and the condition is there. And then how do we eliminate these causes and condition? And then he teaching the path. The path of this we call the path of the compassion, path of the loving kindness. If we practice loving kindness, through that way, this all we understand the truth. And then we can free from suffering. So this is we call the path. The path, this we through this way, and then where we get the result, cessation. Cessation means you're free from ignorance, you're free from attachment, you're free from anger. So you're free from there, that's what we call the way cessation or enlightened or happiness. So everybody wants to that part. So therefore, the Buddha, this is teaching is very essential to Buddha's teaching. So it's teaching, special teaching of the truth of suffering. So there are many kinds of suffering, the teaching, but the Buddhism man teaching suffering of the preventive suffering. The preventive suffering. This means the change. We make lots of change. So we people think they stay forever in the world, but not at all. We don't have an option at moment to moment to change. So therefore, this makes suffering us. So through the meditation, through the understanding, we free from the death, we free from this aging old and the sickness. So this is the Buddha's teaching. So one of our great master, Shantideva, he said, so all this happiness comes from helping other. And all this suffering comes from self-grasping. Self-grasping means always think, I want, I am fast, I need everything. So always we have self-grasp more, and nobody come close to us. Because we distant everything we rejected. So this is, we call this, all this suffering comes from our self-grasping. Because we more self-grasping, and more charity us, and we don't care others' feeling, others' condition and position. We try to do the cheating, killing, everything arises from there because we don't care other. Too much the self-centered attitude in ourselves. So therefore, all this suffering comes from self-grasping. Make ourselves unhappiness, and make unhappy others, the beings. So helping other beings, always happiness. So this is different between free from, if you want to free from suffering, so more thinking other people, not helping these other sentient beings, and then automatically to come happiness ourselves. So spiritual teaching of the Dzogchen is a little bit complicated, but actually the mind is a luminosity. Luminosity, okay? The lightness. So more understand, more lightness, and like sun. The sun shines, and then we can see all this, everything. The mind is like that. But just a moment, it's a lot of the in mind, there are a lot of like, for example, this all the negative mind is like cloud. The fall of cloud in the sky, even the sun is shining behind the sky, but we couldn't see everything, anything. The same is mind is clear, lightness, pure, but all the ignorance and most self-grasping, blocking. So most important is teaching is not understand intellectual way the teaching of Buddhism, but we understand the way of the experience. If you have the experience, what is it means the compassion? What is it means the loving kindness? Is you have the experience your own mind, you have confidence it is the helpful, that time you see the truth. This is 100% up to you. Like teaching. The teacher only duty to teaching the student what is right, what is wrong. The student practice, they follow the right path and they make effort and they will see the truth. Like this is a map. You open the map and I say, you go to the Ganges River, you go to that, and you just map is here. If you follow this map and go to the Ganges, you will arrive there. But you know the map is here, how to go the Ganges River. You not go there and you stay in one place, you never get there, yeah? This is same thing. Whatever we talk compassion, whatever we talk loving kindness, just the care explanation, but you don't have any experience yourself, and we couldn't change yourself, and we couldn't change ourselves. So this is we need this experience. Yeah, experience is the most important part. If you have really great experience, confident in your mind, and then you can change yourself, and you can change others. This is the Buddha's teaching. Buddha's always teaching. You are your master. Nobody your master. You are your own master. This means you are your own master. If you go to the right path, if you go to the wrong path, and 100% your hand. Nobody had your destination. Yeah, this is his teaching.
Tibetan Buddhism places a distinct emphasis on reincarnation, the idea that this life is just a short moment in a long cycle of continuous rebirths governed by karma. While other traditions may interpret rebirth more metaphorically, Tibetan Buddhism views reincarnation as a literal process where our past actions shape our present life, and our present actions determine our future lives. According to these teachings, the cause of rebirth lies in attachment and ignorance, our clinging to desires, and our failure to see the true nature of reality. These forces keep us trapped in samsara, the endless round of birth, death, and rebirth. To break free from samsara, we must awaken from ignorance and understand the true nature of existence. Tibetan Buddhism teaches that everything we perceive is a mental projection to which we attach concepts, especially the concept of the self. The feeling of I, or me, is referred to as the ego, and it is because of our misunderstanding of the ego's nature that we cling to an illusory self, This grasping creates a narrow mind and leads to endless suffering. To purify and transform this, we must cultivate loving kindness and compassion, focusing on the happiness and well-being of others. What stood out to me most in my exploration of Tibetan Buddhism was this deep emphasis on love and compassion. According to these teachings, love is the force that transforms the egocentric mind and frees us from the suffering it causes. Love is what allows us to awaken from ignorance and realize our true nature. As the Tibetan master Garchen Rinpoche said, the only cause of happiness is love. The only cause of suffering is self-grasping. Love is the medicine that heals all suffering. It is the path that leads to awakening.